Hi, everybody. Robert Ogilvy, project manager and professional coach. So, for today's Team Tuesdays topic, I want to talk about self leadership and really spotting bad leaders, or really more so what to do about those bad leaders. Um, so, as a kind of starting off point, do you think everyone has the potential to be a leader, and not necessarily in that same some kind of monotype here. But here's what a leader is. But bring out leadership qualities within them. There's a leadershipy way that they can use their strengths. Um, I'm kind of an optimist when it comes to human potential. So I would say yes. To break that down a bit further, if you study types of management and leadership styles or ways to influence others, there's expert power, there's transformational leadership, there's a bunch of other styles, and those can fit with different expertises, different strengths or talents, right? So in some sense, yeah, I really do believe that there's a way to increase someone's leadership capacity. Doesn't mean everyone is going to be super charismatic, and they all play to different types. There was the post I did a few weeks ago on Quora, and you can find it on the website. And someone was asking, I think, some question about bad leaders, and I had the example where I mentioned Elon Musk this and Marissa Mayer that, and et cetera, et cetera. And what I was kind of trying to say is these people have these different strengths, and so then those strengths in the right context, in the right kind of competitive situation, there's a reason why you'd want those strengths, but they also come with gaps, right? The use case I said with Elon Musk is that super visionary, has an amazing sense of tech and can conceive and design from first principles, but yet he's also can be a very rough and demanding, manager to deal with, very cutthroat, doesn't think things are good enough, very high demand. Marissa Mayer, the example is, she can be very precise and really anal in her managerial procedures, right? Which is a good quality for a CFO, right? Their job is really cost control and efficiency. But there's also horror stories of her not just working 130-hour work weeks, which is ridiculous and no one should do. So I want to be crystal clear on that. That's not just a bad personal habit, that's a bad role modeling habit. But then also people lining up outside of her door, I think particularly like Friday afternoons, because she would need to sign off on people's work and deliverables, and there would be lines of dozens of people, and it struck me as incredibly unfeasible that she would approach that. Anyway, the point isn't to harp on those people. The point is to say, there's some way to leverage those strengths, right? Okay, so that's the first point I would say. People do have good leadership qualities that they can bring out, regardless of what their talents are. So then that leads us to say, what bad leadership experiences have we had? What bad leaders or managers have we been forced to deal with? How would you spot those people? Were they actively, like, maybe they were openly aggressive? Maybe it was something where there's very little room for compensation or advancement, and they wanted it, and so there was a subtext of competition. I want to get the top spot. I want to get the bonus, not you. So, I'm supposed to be managing you, but I'm kind of competing against you, or even at a peer-to-peer level, same sort of thing. We can't really develop strong coworker bonds, good rapport, good culture, because I'm competing against you, and I will win and you will lose. Maybe it's other stuff about how they deal with stress, and so maybe it feels like when there are these more trying points, or maybe even more severe, these crisis points, when the mark of good leaders will show up because they will be able to navigate that, and they can do it with some EQ and some grace, and or even just some authenticity and some honesty. Maybe that's when the stress hits the fan that you see the lies and the manipulation and just how far someone's willing to go. I'd love to get your sense of what some of the indicators of bad leaders are. This is actually kind of a check-in for myself, because as I'm looking at some of our team and leadership development programming, I'm trying to understand some of the language of these people, because most people, if you just say, oh yeah, we do leadership development, or we do self-leadership development, right? Most people wouldn't have the self-awareness of that gap to say, oh yeah, some self-leadership, I could use some more self-leadership, right? But if it's the people around them that are suffering, or it's some, organizationally they're suffering because of this bad leader, those are the pain points I'm trying to kind of suss out. How would you spot a bad leader, or let's be precise, a bad manager, if let's parse it out a bit, right? Management, let's put that towards ops and efficiency, and can you get things done or not, can you produce results? And let's say leadership is more towards the people, the talent management, and the long-term kind of change and strategy stuff, right? But you could, someone could be bad in both of these areas, right? How would you spot that? So these are some of some of the things we're thinking about. We'd love to hear your stories about some of your bad leaders. So you don't have to mention names, but particularly how you would spot a bad leader. That could be really really fun to help us, have a checklist. Yeah, if are these things in play? Yeah, these are things bad leaders and bad managers do. So I hope to hear from you guys soon. So again, Robert Ogilvie, project manager and professional coach. Thanks, guys.